there's this brother that moved from home from Nigeria last year with his family to the US. He's a pastor actually, from my hometown. He's been doing some missionary work in Northeast, and so there's a Christian organization that made a way for him and his family to move over and take over a missionary agency that reaches out to Western Africans refugees. And we had our tribal group reunion in July. He was there, so we met and we're like, okay, how are you trying to settle in the US? It's like, well, so far things are going okay and all of that. Right after that, in August, I heard that he's been in the hospital. And what was the problem? He had some kidney issues. And he didn't think it was serious. And 2 weeks ago, I just called to check on him. How are you? He's like, well, I'm hanging in there, but I'll pull through. And I talked with him and I prayed with him. And 2 days ago, I had the word that he didn't make it. He passed. I was frozen when I read that on the WhatsApp group. His wife posted, somebody posted on behalf of his wife that he couldn't survive, so he passed. And my mind went racing. My mind just kept thinking through all the things he had gone through, all the things, and I'm like, thinking through, not to ask God why, because God doesn't owe us explanation. But even in the midst of that, He expects us to still thank Him and appreciate Him. Because every one of us have our own path that God has designed for us. And this was the understanding that I have, that in this side of eternity, we all are saddled with our own different responsibilities and our own different struggles in life. In some of them we'll win, in some of them we'll lose. But whatever be the end result of any of them, it does not negate God's faithfulness. He is faithful. And all I could do was to pour my heart to God, my grief to God, and thank God for that, and look at my life. And use the experience to speak to myself that God is allowing me to learn from His experience, to understand that there is going to be a time for everyone. But may it be that when that time occurs, I have learned from the experiences of life to have used His grace efficiently, that I will confidently say, I have fought the battle and I'm handing the baton to someone else. And so for me, I sat back and I was thinking, I'm like, this new understanding in itself is worth to appreciate God. It's not everyone that assessed that situation and came out with that kind of perspective. Some may just be troubled and all they could do is ask God why. The fact that it was a whole day moment of reflection for me. And yesterday I was thinking about that, and I'm like, God, you're so grateful. I mean, you're so merciful that you've allowed me to even, probably 10, 20 years ago, I might not have thought in that direction. And so that I could think that way, knowing that it is not me that muster myself to bring myself to begin to reason in that capacity in itself, is God, pushes me to still say, Lord, I thank you. I appreciate you. That I could face life even in the midst of uncertainty, yet with the assurance that whatever happens, head or tail, I don't lose. I'm coming out of this as a winner. It doesn't matter what happens. So that assurance, that confidence carries me through. And realizing that it is not for anything I have done truly, because if I look at myself, I messed it up all the time. In every step, I just screwed it up. And yet, I could say that He has held on to me, and He's still holding on to me. And so to cultivate that attitude of thanksgiving, slow down. Look at the normal things of life and recognize that though they've happened perfectly and sometimes by your own effort, none of them could have been the way they are without God making them be. And so you must conclude about your life every moment that everything about me and everything that will ever be is God. And that helps us not to live life with a high-headedness. That helps you to realize that whatever I have achieved and that I will achieve, I have a role to play, but playing that role is a demonstration of my trust in God. It's not a demonstration that it will require me to get it done. It is God.